Did you know that there has been an experiment going on for the last couple of years in Nigeria? This experiment has been testing Bitcoin pitted against a central bank digital currency. And guess what? The test went better than any of us could have hoped for. Take a look with me here at this Twitter thread from Nick Giambruno. Apologies if I pronounced your name wrong, where he details a little quick overview of what's been going on in Nigeria recently. Number one, they launched their central bank digital currency, CBDC, the Naira. It was Africa's first central bank digital currency. Now, just in case you're not aware of the facts, Nigeria is an extremely important country, globally speaking, for the future. Their birth rate is such that their demographics are where their population will exceed China's population by probably the year 2100. They're massive. They are growing extremely quickly. They've got a very young population. No technical debt to speak of when you look at their infrastructure, when you look at the technology that they have. Massive, massive potential coming out of Africa over the next century, and the demographics support huge growth there. And Nigeria is kind of at the epicenter of all of this. And not to mention, Nigerians love Bitcoin. In fact, Nigeria has one of the highest Bitcoin adoption rates in the world. They're ranked number 11. And so the elites thought that Nigerians wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Bitcoin and the Naira because they're both digital currencies. And so because so many central banks want to launch their own central bank digital currency, they've been watching what's been going on in Nigeria kind of to see, what mistakes are being made so that they can be more successful in their own countries. They have even had to offer incentives like a 5% discount to drivers and passengers of the rickshaws in an attempt to try and get people to increase the adoption of their CBDC. They've not been very successful, with only 1 in 200 people signing up to use it. And this admission from Bloomberg is just perfect. It says, while the Naira uses similar distributed ledger technology to Bitcoin or Ethereum, Nigerians' passion for cryptocurrencies doesn't extend to the central bank offering. Now, this is partly true. I mean, the technological similarities are there, but the application is, it couldn't be more opposite. So you've got ledger money, which is basically just a list of accounts and what money is in each account, and the list of transactions of all the money between all the accounts. That's it. It's like an Excel spreadsheet, just a little bit more secure and complicated than that. And so with Bitcoin, everybody that wants to can look at the Excel spreadsheet and see which accounts have how much money and what transactions have ever taken place. With a central bank digital currency, only the central bank can see that list. With Bitcoin, nobody has the ability to go back and change records or change the amount of money in any account. With a CBDC, the central bank maintains the ability to change any of the history and change the amount of money that's in anybody's account. With Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoins that exist are fixed. There's only 21 million that will ever exist. With a CBDC, it's up to the central bank to decide how many exist. With Bitcoin, you can send money to any other wallet. It's permissionless. And so if I decide to send you money with Bitcoin, nobody can stop me. With CBDCs, the central bank can decide to allow or disallow any transactions from taking place, and they can also reverse transactions. With Bitcoin, you can't. And so while the technological infrastructure may be very similar, the application of it is completely turned around. And so this gives me huge hope that somewhere like Nigeria, which is very, very important for the next century. I mean, we're probably going to see the similar stories emerge out of Africa and Nigeria that we see in China over the last 30 to 40 years. A lot of people said China could never have any growth. Look at what it's done. We're probably going to see very similar things happen out of Africa over the next, 30, 40, 50 years. So with something like this happening, it gives me absolute great hope. It means that regular people who distrust their government and enjoy new technologies are able to tell a difference, shockingly, between freedom money and tyranny. When you see the ability of a government to control everything with a central bank digital currency, it provides me with great hope that people are saying, nope, we'd rather not adopt that. We'd rather not use that because that represents somebody taking everything from me. And this freedom money, whether it's gold or Bitcoin, sound money that no entity can control, that means that we have hope for the future, that the general populations aren't just going to throw in the towel and say, yeah, the unelected bureaucrats, the elites around the world that are trying to pull the strings from behind the scenes, we're not just going to give them control and let them take over our lives through a central bank digital currency, because that's exactly what that would be. A CBDC allows the central banks and the central governments pure control over the flow of resources in the entire economy. And when you have control over the flow of resources in an economy, you have control over people's lives. And finally, gold and Bitcoin sound money should be a part of everybody's portfolio, but many people overdo it or underdo it, and then they overexpose themselves to risk or underexpose themselves to potential upside. They don't know how to properly pair it with hedges and allocation to traditional assets like stocks. If you want the best guide on asset allocation available, get my portfolio allocation mastery course linked in the description below. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.